So our main focus at Lapa'au is really to tend to our soil. We call it a biointensive approach to organic farming, which means that we put a lot of organic matter into our soil to build the biology. And in turn, that biology is what's doing the majority of the work to break down the nutrients that are needed for those plants to survive. And through a lot of crop diversity, that also allows us to rotate our fields functionally to grow about 100,000 pounds of food a year on just about 1.6 acres. And if we didn't do a seasonal approach, it would make it much harder to be able to produce the consistency of quality without any kind of chemical fertilizers, fungicides, pesticides, herbicides. So we can bypass all of that because each season, for the majority of a season, we're rotating crops in and out. So we're not planting the same crop year after year. Yeah, our team is really one of the backbones to why this farm's successful. My dad always told me it's 3 P's in business, which is your product, your protocol or procedure, and the people. I think passion and purpose is behind that too, but the people behind Lapa'au Farm has grown over the years, and it adapts with some people coming in and out, but overall we have had a really good success rate in people staying here, and I think it's reflective upon creating a good culture where people feel welcomed, we have honesty and integrity, people enjoy being outside, working together, and just being kind to one another. Our diversity is kind of our specialty on the farm. Being a very small scale, that allows us to rotate heavily within the crops that we grow. So after we're done growing one specific crop, we're usually turning the bed over and planting something immediately because we don't want a lot of bed space to be barren other than when we need to replant or bed prep. We want as much soil coverage as possible to hold the moisture in the soil, to keep the microbes active and alive and healthy. And our ability to do that is functioning on each square foot by putting in a lot of organic matter. So what we do is we add in our own compost mixture. We not only break down our own spent mushroom substrate into that compost, but we'll add in a lot of green waste from our field too. But we also add in a lot of that spent substrate. So once we've fruited mushrooms out for about 3 months, the cellulose is broken down from the mycelium, and that allows the carbon to nitrogen ratio to drop from about 60:1 to 16:1, which means when we put it into the field and we turn it into the soil, it's much more bioavailable to all the microbes to start breaking it down. And so as our populations of microbes grow in our soil, that's really what's breaking down the nutrients in the soil to make them bioavailable to the plants. Our food goes to a lot of different distributors and restaurants. Local Harvest is one of our bigger ones who does the Napili Farmers Market. And they've been one of the probably most consistent distributors out of all of our distributors over the last 6 years or so. We love working with Steve and with Cameron. They not only will kind of take everything that we have, but they are willing to work with us on pricing as well. And they'll take carrots, beets, mushrooms, greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, cauliflower, herbs, really anything that we can grow, Cameron seems to be able to sell. And it's great because not only do they do the farmers market, but they also have their own distribution where they deliver to different kinds of restaurants. And then on top of that, they do their own CSA as well, where they deliver home boxes to people's doorsteps. So they've been a big support over the last 7 years and really allowed us to grow our business, because if we don't have distributors like this, then we'd be having to go to the farmer's market, and it's more work on the farmer. And rather than us having to go sell retail constantly, we can focus on what we're good at, which is growing the food, and move it to a specialty distributor like Cameron, who can then move those large amounts of food to wherever they're needed to go. Cameron was the first distributor I think that we ever went to. We had heard about him from some other friends, and they buy all local food that they distribute out, so they don't import anything. And we really resonated with that as a value system. So when we first developed our relationship, he started taking just about anything that we could grow because it fills his gaps. And he's got, I don't know, a plethora of farmers that he grabs from, but he's always been like the one that stayed with us for the longest, and probably been one of the biggest supporters of us too, because they love supporting local farmers, especially organic farmers, and being a small farm like this, they really will take everything and anything that we can grow. And I think that's undervalued for the small scale farmers, because most people want to do farmers market, but we've found more value in being able to find a good distributor that we can sell our product to on a larger scale, so that we don't have to do all of the headache work of going to markets and doing all of this retail. And it works better for our business model. So we can focus on growing all of our food, and he can focus on selling all the food. There's some wild birds here. It's actually kind of cool. Every time we go through our fields, the worms seem to be the #1 food for most of the birds here. Also, quite a lot of seeds that they like to eat, so we have to cover agribon if we seed into the field. But we have a lot of singing birds, Eurasian skylarks. There's a few natives that come around here because of all the koa and some of the ohia that we have. But it's cool to see the different varieties that come through, and like you kind of a little bit get to know them, because a lot of them hang out in the bamboo here, and it's like the same birds that come down every day. So